What is Grok AI and why does it matter? Let's start off this course with something big. What exactly is Grok AI and why is everyone suddenly talking about it? What is Grok AI? Grok AI is a conversational chatbot created by XAI, a company founded by Elon Musk. It was launched in late 2023 as Musk's answer to tools like ChatGPT and Google Gemini. How to access Grok? X, web and app options. Log into your X account. For that you can just write in here as X Twitter and you can just click in here. If you have already signed in, then this interface will be opened, but if you have not, then you must have to provide login credentials like email, username or mobile number and the password as well. Subscribe to Premium Plus. Once subscribed, you will notice a new Grok tab in the left hand menu on desktop or within the menu bar on mobile. Here you can see we have an option called Grok icon in here. Click on the Grok icon to open the chat interface. When you click on that, then this interface will be opened. Accessing Grok via the web. If you don't want to go through X or don't have an account, there's another option, the Grok web portal. This is still being rolled out, but in some regions you can go directly to grok.x.ai or a linked site from X homepage. Here's how it works. Open your browser and go to the official Grok website. You can click in here and write grok.com. When you just click on that, log in using your X account credentials. As we have already logged in, then this interface is already opened. But if you have not, then you must enter the credentials of X account. If you are a Premium Plus subscriber, you will get immediate access to the Grok interface. The web version has a clean, simple layout. It's ideal for desktop users or anyone who prefers not to switch between tabs on X. Accessing Grok via the app, mobile app. To use Grok on mobile, download the Grok AI Assistant app from the App Store or Google Play. Sign in and upgrade to Premium Plus if you have not already. From there, chat with Grok the same way you would text a friend. This option is handy if you want to use Grok on the go for quick searches, writing help, or even drafting tweets. Since Grok is integrated with X, you can copy answers directly into posts or replies if you are a regular content poster. Which option is best for you? If you are on X every day, using Grok there makes sense. If you prefer a clean desktop workspace, the web version is smoother. The mobile option will keep you connected anywhere. How to ask Grok anything and actually get what you need. Now that you know how to access Grok, it's time to tackle the real question. How do you actually use it well? Grok will try to guess what you want. An overview, stats, causes, consequences. That lack of direction leads to basic answers. But if you say, for example, you can write instead, summarize the main causes of climate change in 3 bullet points. For a class presentation. And when you just hit enter, Grok knows what to focus on and how to format it. That one change, being specific, makes a huge difference. Be clear and direct. Grok responds best when you clearly state what you want. Instead of open-ended questions like, what's AI? You can try in here as, explain artificial intelligence in simple terms for a high school student. And when you just press enter, this tells Grok how deep to go and who the audience is. Add context. If you are writing an email, a caption, or a blog, tell Grok what you are writing and who it's for. Set the format or structure. If you want a list, say so. If you need a paragraph or a tweet, mention the length. For example, you just want an overview or a summary, you can write in here as write a 100-word summary of the book 1984. And when you just press enter, it gives you summary for a specific length and the book by George Orwell's 1984. So this is how you can ask for a summary of the book as well. And you can just close this window, open a new chat, and the next prompt, for example, you just want to ask as give me pros and cons list of using Grok versus ChatGPT. And when you just press enter, these are in the points as well. Here you can see the first it gives the pros and the second we have cons, and now the ChatGPT pros, benefits and the limitations as well. And it gave you summary as well for both Grok and ChatGPT. But if you want it into a table form, you can just write in here as convert it into table form and press enter. So it is just converting the whole data that was provided in here in the form of paragraphs or points. Now here you can see it is in the table form, which is easy to read and understand and get a full comparison in the table form. So this is how the Grok can help you understand all the topics that you want to. For the next prompt, we just open a new chat in here and you can just ask for it as write a casual tweet explaining what Grok is and press enter. So it just gave you a post or tweet that you can post on X or on any platform that you are working on. The clearer you are, the better the output matches what you had in mind. Use follow-ups to refine. Don't expect the first response to be perfect. One of Grok's strengths is conversation. After the first answer, you can say, make it more casual. Can you add an example? Now turn this into a short email. Just like in real conversations, you build on what's already said. Grok adopts with you. Use examples to guide Grok. Sometimes it helps to show Grok the kind of output you want. If you're asking for an explanation of tone, add something like, you can write in here as, here is an example of the tone I like. And you can just write in here as, imagine your brain is a sponge and you just want to explain something, and you can just write in here as, now explain nervous system like that. So when you just press enter, this trick makes Grok mimic your style, and it's great for creative writing, educational content, or copywriting. From casual chat to real-time facts. Part 1. Grok as a conversational partner. Grok is designed to feel more alive than traditional chatbots. It often responds with jokes, sarcasm, or a casual tone, especially when the question is open-ended. For example, ask Grok, what's your favorite snack? And just hit enter. And you might get a funny response like server chips, extra crunchy, or sometimes like popcorn being a classic. So it is our style as well. This personality driven tone makes Grok fun to interact with, but it also helps build engagement. You are more likely to keep using a tool that feels like it's talking with you rather than at you. But here's the key. Grok's tone may be casual, but its answers can be serious when needed, especially when you're asking about real-time topics. Part 2. Real-time facts. Grook's superpower. Most AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini rely on a fixed dataset, usually trained months before you are using it. So, if you ask them about a breaking news event, you will likely get a generic or outdated answer. Grok is different. Since it's integrated with X, it can pull information from live public conversations. That means you can ask about current events like a sports score, trending meme, or breaking news story. You can get insights into what people are saying right now on X. You can track sentiment, reactions, or debates in near real time. Examples of real time prompts. Try asking, you can just write in here as what's trending on X today and press enter. It is searching the real time data. So it gave us 5 different topics like Superman, it's a movie I guess, and Jimmy Butler, NBA player, Wolves back, and Wolves in 5. So this is an NBA playoff as well. And it is giving all the current information as you can see in the United States on May 15, 2025. The next prompt could be open a new chat. You can ask it as what are people saying about the new iPhone release and press enter. So this is the latest update about the iPhone 16 series that was launched in 2024. So this is how the people are talking about as the new iPhone model is being launched in 2025. So they are just currently talking about the previous one. So this is how you can just extract the information on Grok AI. And the next prompt could be you can just open in a new chat and you can just write in here as of any current topic that you just want to have information about. You can just write in here as summarize the latest updates on. You can just write any topic that you want to have information about. You can just write in here as quantum computers and press enter. So it is just collecting all the information that is being discussed on X about quantum computers. And here you can see you have all the updates as you will get this update by 2026, and you can just read all the information, and you can just ask it to summarize this data into one paragraph as well if you don't want to read all this, and you can just ask it to summarize all this in a single paragraph. So you can just have the summary of everything that you have been in here. So here is the main topic that was being discussed, and here you can see with IBM and TCS the main keywords, and here you can see at Google, BASF and Ford Orson, and the investment you can see $50 billion. So here you can see you have all the summary of the data that is being discussed in here. Grok AI interface. Create images, edit images, latest news, personas, workspaces. Imagine one AI platform where you can read breaking news, create custom images, edit visuals, brainstorm with different expert personas, and manage your entire academic or work project all in one tab. Image creation. Prompt to visual in seconds. Grok AI allows you to generate images directly from text prompts. This feature works similarly to tools like DALL-E or Midjourney, but it's built into the Grok interface. You type in a prompt like, you can just click in here the create images, and you can just give it a prompt as draw a futuristic classroom with holograms and digital boards. And when you just click in here, within seconds, Grok produces a visual. And there are other suggestions as well, like cyberpunk aesthetics, robotic assistants, or quantum displays as well. So you can add any of these and the next images will be created. And the next prompt could be, you can just go to new chat, click on create images, and draw a minimalist, flat, lay photo of study supplies on a white desk. And when you just hit enter, and here you can see we have all these visuals as we're given it a prompt like in here, and you have all the study supplies on a white desk. So you can just download that as well by clicking on this icon, and when you just click on that, you can have a zoom version and you can edit the picture as well. So when you just close this, and you have this interface, and you have different suggestions as well, like in pencil sketch, add vintage clock on wooden floor as well. So you have all these suggestions available in Grok AI. Why is this useful? For presentations, reports, or social media, you get custom visuals without needing design experience. You can quickly visualize ideas for projects or creative writing. You don't need any advanced prompt writing skills. Just be specific, include visual details, and adjust based on what Grok generates. Image editing. Tweak without Photoshop. Beyond generating images, Grok also offers simple AI-based image editing. This is not full Photoshop, but for everyday needs, it's powerful. You can remove objects or backgrounds, add new elements, change colors or styles, improve clarity or lighting. Let's say you created an image with too much clutter. You can prompt Grok to, for example, you just go to edit image and you can just upload that. And for example, you just want to edit this picture, click on open, and it is being uploaded. So here you can see we have two main subjects, and the background we have different people in here. That looks distracting. So you can just give it a prompt in here as remove background distractions or focus on the main subject. For that you can just click in here background as well, and you have all these options available, like you can change the background to Paris, London, Tokyo, even Mars, and tropical paradise, cosmic void, and all of those options. So for example, if you want to implement, you can just click on this creative and click on watercolor. As you have all these options available, you can choose any of these, but for now we are going to use the watercolor. When you just click on that, the image will be converting into watercolor art. The image is being edited. Here you can see the image has been converted into watercolor style. So this is how you can edit the pictures using this Grok AI. This is perfect for posters or assignments, business pitch decks, blog visuals, or social media content. Latest news. Stay updated inside the tool. One of Grok's most underrated features is its real-time news integration. Instead of opening a separate tab for current events, you can ask Grok by just first clicking on this latest page, giving you the latest news as well first of all, as it is just collecting the information about latest news. Here you can see it gave us multiple topics that are in trending right now, and but you can give it a prompt like that as well. For example, to be specific, you can just give it a prompt as what's the latest on climate policy in the European Union. And when you just hit enter, it will start searching. So here you can see it has been extracting data on the current basis as it is being discussed on X right now. So it has given us multiple points that could be the key elements, and you can just summarize all these points by giving it a prompt as to summarize it. But for example, you just want to have the summary of technology headlines of today, so you can just give it a prompt as give me today's headlines in technology summarized. And when you just hit enter, so here is the today's technology headlines of Google's AI advancements, Apple's innovations, OpenAI's GPT 4.1 is coming, TikTok's AI feature, Amazon's AI integration, cybersecurity, and crypto, other developments as well. So you have all the headlines of today that have been updated on Grok. Using Grok for writing, summarizing, and brainstorming. So far, we have learned Grok's personality, real-time features, and how to have smarter conversations with it. Writing with Grok, from drafts to emails. Whether you need to write a formal email, a blog post, or an assignment intro, Grok can help you move faster. You don't need to ask for a full piece. Start with this by just giving it a prompt as give me a draft introduction for a paper on climate change for a college level audience. And when you just hit enter, so here you can see you have got this paragraph of introduction which has been for a specific audience as college level students. So it has just used words that are familiar to this audience specifically. And if you want to write a formal email, you can just close this window and start a new chat and give it a prompt as write a short, polite email asking my professor for a deadline extension. And when you just press enter, it will give you a short, polite, and an email format to a specific person, a professor, and with the subject of deadline extension. So here you can see you can just edit the dates and the professor name and just the proposed date as well. So you have all this data available and you can just send it to your professor. And if you want to write a blog post, you can just start a new chat in here and give it a prompt as outline a blog post about time management for students and press enter. So you have all these headings, points, and the planner as well. So it has given you 5 sections with the headings and points as well, and the conclusion and call to action as well. So you can just post this blog post at any platform that you are working on. Once Grok gives you something, you can refine it, rewrite in your own words, or ask follow-ups like make it sound more casual, add a quote to the introduction, summarize this into 3 sentences. This approach helps you fight writer's block and develop your own structure more confidently. Summarizing with Grok, clear, quick, and useful. Grok can also help you condense long content, readings, articles, notes, or even your own drafts. Try prompts like, you can just give it a prompt as summarize this paragraph in plain English. And you can just paste the paragraph in here about digital privacy. So you can just give it a prompt as summarize this paragraph in plain English and click on this. Here you can see it is converting this paragraph into simple plain English. So you can have an idea about this paragraph. Or you can give it a prompt as give me 5 key takeaways from this article on digital privacy, and you can just paste that paragraph on an article, and you can just click on this icon or press enter. Here you can see it has converted this article into 5 key takeaways as with the headings and a little explanation to that within a single paragraph. And you can just give it a prompt as in here, explain this in bullet points for a class presentation. And when you just hit enter, it will convert those points into bullet points for a class presentation. So you can just convert this into a presentation, and you just don't have to read all these paragraphs and convert this into bullet points by yourself. So it has just saved your time a lot by just giving it a single prompt like in here. You can even paste in your own text or a rough draft and ask, can you summarize this into a strong conclusion? And you can just give it a article or a paragraph that we are already working on. So you can just click in here, so it has just given you the conclusion paragraph that you can write in your writings or in presentation as well, or you can just tell the audience that what you have concluded about this article. Or you can give it a prompt as in here, pull out the main argument in one sentence, and press enter. Here you can see you had this long article in here, and Grok has converted that article in one single sentence. This is great when you are overwhelmed with material or reviewing for exams and want things broken down quickly. Brainstorming with Grok, fuel for creativity. Grok is great for throwing out ideas, some serious, some silly, but all helpful for getting your mind moving. Try prompts like, give me 10 essay title ideas for a paper on AI in education. And when you just press enter, here you can see you have 10 different titles on AI in education. And if you're working on a podcast, then you can just ask it for as, what are some creative angles for a podcast about study habits? And when you just press enter, here you can see we have 10 different ideas for a podcast about study habits. So you can work on any of these if you're working on a podcast. And if you're working on a group presentation and you're lacking topics, then you can just ask it for, help me brainstorm a list of topics for a group presentation. And you can just press enter. Here you can see if you're working on technology, then you have all these topics. If you're working on social issues, then you have all these topics. And if you're working on science and health, you have different topics as well. So it just gave you all the fields titles as technology, social science, science and health, history and culture, business and economics, education and innovation, and all these topics. But if you're working on a specific field that you want to specify, for example, you can just edit the prompt as well, and you can just ask it for on technology. So when you just press enter, then it will just give you the ideas about technology. Here you can see you have artificial intelligence and ethics, the future of quantum computing, cybersecurity in the digital age. So you have all these topics for a presentation, as you have just specified the field as technology. The key is not to expect perfection. You're not looking for final answers. You're looking for a starting point. Think of Grok as your creative sparring partner. It throws ideas and you decide what sticks. You can then follow up with expand idea number 4 into a full paragraph and press enter, and it has just explained it in a single paragraph as you just gave it a prompt in a full paragraph. So it just works as per you give it a prompt. And you can give it a prompt as give me a real world example for idea number 2 and press enter. You can just close this window. As you can see, we had the idea number 2 as the future of quantum computing. So it has just converted that into a real world example as lithium nickel oxide. And this has been used in creation of quantum computers, so it has been related to real world examples of quantum computing. And if you want to ask which of the idea is better for you to work on, then you can give it a prompt as which of these ideas would appeal most to the university students. And you can just press enter. As it has given us all these options as 15 different topics, but it has just suggested a topic as augmented reality versus virtual reality, as it is on the idea number 5 as highly engaging, especially for students interested in gaming, design, or media. Augmented reality or virtual reality use in education, for example virtual labs and entertainment, makes it relatable. So it has just suggested us to work on this specific one among all these 15 different ideas that it has suggested us. Study help and quick research with Grok. Grok as a study buddy, breaking down complex ideas. Grok can explain things in plain English, step by step, or even in list format. Try prompts like explain the difference between mitosis and meiosis in simple terms. And when you just press enter, here you can see you have the difference mitosis and meiosis, and the key difference is this one. And you can just convert this data into tabular form as well when you just ask it to convert this data into a table form. And when you just hit enter, here you can see you have feature and mitosis and meiosis. So you have the key difference as well and with the examples as well. And if you want to ask something different as what's the main argument in Plato's allegory of the cave, and when you just press enter, here you can see it has just given us the main argument in Plato's allegory of the cave, and you can just have the main idea of any book or any philosophy as well. For example, if you want to ask something like about business, then you can give it a prompt as help me understand the basics of supply and demand using real life examples. And when you just press enter, here you can see it is just giving you, first of all, it's just explaining the supply and demand. And it has just converted these points into real life examples. Here you can see the demand examples as concert tickets, and supply example as avocado harvest, and equilibrium example as gas prices, surplus example as fashion retail, shortage example as gaming consoles. So you can have these real life examples that you can relate to, and then you will never forget any of these. If the answers feels too formal, you can say, can you simplify that more, and press enter. So it has just converted into different real life examples. Here you can see the lemonade stand, apples at the market, toy store at Christmas. So you have different real life examples that are more simpler than the previous ones. And you can give it a prompt as explain it like you are tutoring a high school student, and press enter. So it will just adjust the data with that specific audience, that a high school student terminologies, and the difficult level as well. So you have example as sneakers, tacos at the food truck, and phone chargers, concert tickets, and Halloween candy as well. So that looks a little fun, and the high school student must be familiar with all these terminologies as well. So it will not be difficult for him or her to understand this supply and demand. This makes Grok helpful when reviewing class material or preparing for exams. Use Grok to create flashcards by saying, turn this list into flashcards, style, Q&A for me to study. And you can just press enter. So it has just converted this data into flashcards, and you can have the questions and the answers as well. So you have 10 different flashcards with questions and answers. Quick research and starting points. Grok can also be used to kick off light research when you are choosing a topic or exploring a new area. It won't replace peer-reviewed sources, but it gives you a solid starting point. Try prompts like, what are three current issues in environmental law, and press enter. Here you can see you have three different current issues in environmental law. The first one is climate change, the second one is plastic pollution, and the third one is about biodiversity. So you can just read it and you will have the idea to start. And for another prompt, we can just start a new chat, and you can just give it a prompt as list 5 research angles on the topic of social media and anxiety, and press enter. So it has given you 5 different research angles on the topic of social media anxiety, and you can just read that and you will have the starting point that you can work on. And if you want to have a research on the history, then you can just give it a prompt in here as give me a basic overview of the causes of World War One, and press enter. So you can just have the history of any event that you really are working on right now. Grok pulls real-time ideas from the X platform and general web knowledge, which helps you spot fresh topics, recent discussions, and emerging trends. Using Grok for social media content. Grok is great at generating short-form content for platforms like Instagram, Twitter or X, TikTok or LinkedIn. But the key to getting good responses is being specific about three things. The platform. Different platforms need different styles. The tone. Formal, casual, playful, sarcastic. You choose. The purpose. Are you informing, promoting, or entertaining? Try prompts like write a casual Instagram caption for a student studying late at night with coffee. And when you just press enter, so here is the casual Instagram caption for a student studying late at night with coffee. So here's the caption as burning the midnight oil with my trusty coffee sidekick. And the caption and the hashtags are late night study vibes and student life, with these two icons as well, like the studying and the coffee as well. If you want to tweet on X, then you can give it a prompt as create a short funny tweet about group project in college. And when you just press enter, and here is a tweet, and it says group project rule number one person does the work, two argue over fonts, and the last one supervises with snacks. So this is kind of a funny and short as well. And if you want to post on LinkedIn, then you can just give it a prompt as write a LinkedIn post introducing myself as a new marketing intern, and press enter. Here you have to do just one thing, that you have to add a company name in here and just post on LinkedIn, and with the hashtags as new beginning, marketing and intern life. You can even give examples for better results. For example, you can just edit this and add in here as make it sound like this, make it sound like this, and you can just give it example as sometimes success looks like caffeine and cramming. When you just click on this save and run this prompt, then you will have the result. So here you can see you have a LinkedIn post that "Hey LinkedIn fam," and at the start you are just introducing yourself with the company name. You just have to edit that, and as marketing intern, here you can see, and it will just explain the rest with this example. So here you can see, you can just read this out, and if it fits for you, then you can just post it on LinkedIn without any hesitations. You can always follow up with make it more emotional, turn it into a carousel post with 3 points, rewrite this with emojis. Using Grok for storytelling and imagination. Grok is also great at building fictional content for short stories to character ideas to dialogue. You can guide it by genre, setting, theme, or even voice. Here are the examples. You can just give it a prompt in here as write a micro story under 100 words about a student who accidentally invents time travel. Who accidentally invents time travel. And when you just press enter, here's a story under 100 words about a student who accidentally invents time travel. So here you can see, you can read that out, and you can just post it anywhere that you want to, or you can just print it for your child as well. But if you want to create a fantasy character, you can just give it a prompt here as create a fantasy character who is afraid of magic but destined to become a hero. And you can just press enter. So it has created a fantasy character with the name, age, even background, personality, skills, conflict, appearance, and destiny as well. And if you want a bedtime funny story, then you can just give it a prompt in here as give me a funny bedtime story in 3 parts for a college student, and press enter. Here is the title of the story, The Great Procrastination Potion. It has 3 parts as we have given the instruction to it, and the part 1 is the midnight mix-up, the second part is the campus quest, and the third part is the morning miracle. Group won't always be brilliant on the first try, but once it gives you something, you can say, add more suspense to this, make this suitable for younger kids, change the setting to a college campus. This helps you shape the story until it fits your response. Content brainstorming and creative planning. If you're working on a campaign, blog, or creative assignment, Group can help you brainstorm. You can try these prompts here as give me 10 posts, ideas for a mental health awareness week on campus, and press enter. So it has given you 10 different ideas with the title and the little explanation as well, so that it will be easy for you to pick any of these. Or if you brainstorm funny slogans, then you can just give it a prompt in here as brainstorm funny slogans for a coffee themed merchandise line, and you can just press enter. So here are 10 funny slogans for coffee themed merchandise line, perfect for mugs, t-shirts, and tote bags. Or if you're working on a YouTube channel and want different ideas, then you can just give it a prompt in here as list creative angles for a YouTube video on student budgeting, and press enter. So here you can see you have different ideas as the ramen survival guide, budget like a boss, the game show, budgeting through the ages, the budgeting Avengers superhero hacks, budgeting horror stories, learn from our mistakes, the 50-30-20 rule, student edition, and budgeting around the world, the $20 challenge, thrift store treasure hunt, and budgeting versus balance, the trade-offs. So you have 10 different ideas for a YouTube video on student budgeting. Once you pick your favorite, follow up with write a short post using idea number 3 or expand idea number 7 into a full paragraph. This is especially helpful when you are stuck and need direction and inspiration fast.